The Three Stooges brings Moe, Larry, and Curly back to the big screen while they try to save their orphanage, inadvertently stumble onto a murder plot, and star in a reality show.
Get some Moe.
Spread out. Mind your P's and Q's.
Don't forget to dot the I's.
Certainly.
Larry.
He's got a headache.
No, I don't.
How about now?
Yeah, it's coming on.
And Curly.
When I first saw the trailer for The Three Stooges, my first instinct, and I think this is pretty fair, was just no. Just no. Please, no. And that maintained for a good amount of time, but I have to say that after a while, I, would see the trailers before movies on TV and stuff like that, and I was thinking, it's got at least one thing going for it, and that is performances. The performances looked great. However, peppered in there, of course, are like modern references to iPhones, the Jersey Shore, different stuff that was it just looked awful. So I didn't really know what to expect going into The Three Stooges, because getting up to the release date, I started to warm up to it a bit just because of the performances more than anything. And I have to say that I might be losing my mind. I didn't hate it. Now, first things first, you gotta keep in mind this is a PG movie. That translates to bring your kids. This is not supposed to be like an adult comedy, obviously. It's for kids. However, that being said, there are some, some inappropriate jokes, I guess you could say, that are really for the parents. And that right there gives it a check mark for me, because I think that something hugely important for kids' movies is entertaining their chaperone. Now, I did not chaperone a child. I actually went to see it by myself, which I guess is kind of sad, but such is life. And I have to say, there were some other people in the theater, not many, but we were all laughing through a majority of the movie. I couldn't believe it. When I started laughing towards the start of the movie, I was like, am I nuts? Or is someone near me high as a kite and I'm picking up traces of that? And I don't read reviews or watch reviews or listen to reviews prior to reviewing a movie myself, so I don't know if I'm in the majority or the minority, but I thought it was funny. Now, does that mean it's perfect? Absolutely not. It's got a lot of problems, which I will get to in a moment, but overall, I was surprised. That's what I can say. I was pleasantly surprised. And once again, even if I'm in the minority, I'm always honest, and that's my honest opinion. I was laughing throughout, and I can't deny that. Now, plot-wise, I think they went in the right direction by having it kind of split up into 3 episodes almost. However, the story, pretty much went through the whole thing, so it wasn't really like 3 separate episodes. It might have actually been better off with 3 completely separate episodes, but that's a whole nother deal, I guess. There are some nice elements that travel through the whole thing, such as their bond and their friendship and everything, so that's cool. But overall, it's a very silly plot, which works. It doesn't take itself seriously at all, which obviously also works. The only problems I had were the modern references, which is ironic because I'm assuming they were thrown in to appeal to a modern audience. I think it would have worked better without the iPhone, the Jersey Shore, any of that. I get that the Jersey Shore thing was like a reality show thing, but even that's modern. So all of that, while it did have some moments, there were some funny parts, it just, I don't know, it didn't work. Anything that was modern just really didn't work. It fell flat. Now, in terms of the rest of the humor, you would think, well, that humor's not going to hold up with modern audiences. But you'd be wrong, in my opinion, of course. I think that while some parts didn't really, they missed the mark a little bit, some of the old humor, I think that because the movie is so fast-paced and quick-witted, even if a joke falls flat, not a joke, but like a visual cue, I guess, or they hit each other in the face or whatever, even if that's not that funny and you don't even laugh at it, it's on to the next thing immediately. It doesn't let up, so you don't even have time to think like that wasn't funny. You're on to the next thing, which might make you laugh a little bit, and you forget about the thing that wasn't funny. So the fact that it's extremely fast-paced really, really worked in its favor. Directing-wise, I kind of just went into that. Very fast-paced, which was great. It definitely worked in this movie's favor, which, it's the Three Stooges, so that's how they always were. I think that the editing was great, actually. The timing of the editing in some spots was very funny, and that made some of it funnier. Like the Jersey Shore moments, there were some parts that were funny because of how quickly it cut away, in my opinion, and stuff like that. But in general, I have to say that if this movie was rated PG-13, I think it could have been, like, really funny. The humor was there. It was like they kind of dumbed it down to keep it simple and keep it light, but you could tell that they were very aware of jokes that could have been made almost, if that makes sense. I don't know. There were some inappropriate jokes, like I said, but nothing too far. But some of the murder-related humor, some of the sexual humor, very light sexual humor, don't worry, could have gone further, and I feel like could have been hilarious. With the Three Stooges acting exactly the same, I don't know, there's something there. I feel like that could be a whole nother movie, but, you know, that's aside the point. And acting-wise, once again, like I said, I thought that the performances looked great from the trailers, and, I mean, I think they did a really, really good job. I thought that they were kind of heartwarming, almost, in some spots, but then they were very lovable. That's what I can say. I thought they did a good job and were very lovable. And once again, I might be in the minority here. Maybe everybody hates the hell out of this movie. I don't know. I don't look before I review. But, yeah, I enjoyed their performances. And also, you know, there were some other people in the movie that were great. That model, Kate Upton? No. Actually, she wasn't terrible acting, but it's like, why is she in this? The Jersey Shore cast was awful, but they're not actors, so that's completely fair. You know, doesn't matter. Also, I thought Sofia Vergara was good. Just everybody overall I thought was fine. The acting wasn't a problem, except Jersey Shore, but once again, they're not actors. What do you expect from them? Another thing I have to mention that I'm a huge fan of in anything is when you throw like a dummy or like a fake body and then have a real person jump up. That happens multiple times in this movie, and I thought it was great every time. That's very funny. There were a lot of funny visuals like that, so that was definitely good. And the last thing I'd like to mention is the ending of the movie. No spoilers, but after the movie is over, I guess you could say, but before the credits, there's a little sort of warning thing, which I think should have come beforehand, I guess, if that's the case. But it's for kids. Obviously, these kids are going to see this, like I said, and they just point out to the kids, all of the things are fake in the movie. They have, like, a fake hammer and stuff like that, and they add the sound effect. They'd show off that, like, you know, the poking in the eyes is up here, and I thought that was very smart to add in. And overall, while it obviously has many problems, and it's definitely not a great movie, compared to what I was expecting, based on the awful trailers, really awful trailers with all the modern references in there, it was definitely better than I was expecting, definitely. And I can't deny the fact that I was laughing throughout. Most of it was, chuckles, but there were some parts where I literally was, like, in hysterics laughing. For example, there's a part where, like, an iron, the top of a hammer, like the top of a sledgehammer, falls into a bucket, and then they use that bucket to splash water on someone's face, and the hammer goes out. And it's great because you forgot it was in there for a second. As soon as you see it, it's hysterical. That also happens with an arrow later on. It happens a couple times, stuff like that. Some very funny stuff, some not funny stuff. Mostly the modern references I thought weren't funny. So overall, The Three Stooges was not that bad. That's what I can say. It was definitely not that bad, and I had a good time. I might be crazy. Perhaps I lost a few marbles on my way into the theater, but I had a good time with The Three Stooges. So let me know in the comments what you thought of The Three Stooges. What did you think of the performances? What did you think of the humor, the comedy? Do you get that humor, I guess, like the slapstick Three Stooges humor? Let me know if you are a fan of the Three Stooges or if you kind of just went in not knowing anything about them. I like them. I don't know everything about them, but I enjoy them. And let me know what you thought of the modern references. Like I said, I thought that was the weakest part of the movie, and very ironic considering they probably threw it in to appeal to modern audiences, but I think it did the exact opposite. So let me know anything you want about the Three Stooges, and that's pretty much it.
Come here.
Yeah.